Cool. Well,
Yeah.
I know we spoke briefly in the DM. Sorry for all the confusion with the calendar, by
I'll
the way.
do that.
I've been messing around with different systems and availability, and I was traveling,
Yeah.
working out the time zone, but we
Yeah.
we we got here in the end.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned she's in she cells, so you probably have a pretty good idea of high
Yeah.
ticket and things like that. But yeah, just give me the rundown maybe on your situation and what you want
Yeah.
to achieve.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. So I started my own business in November 2022, and it
Yeah.
was a chronic pain injury type business, and really enjoyed it to begin with. But I'm at the point now where I'm not I'm not enjoying it, but the ROI as well for the effort that I'm putting in, it just doesn't feel worth it to me, right? So I don't have a lot of experience with sales. I'm not like an expert or anything, but I've closed in a very, very difficult market because it's demand capture, right, which is 3 to 5 times harder to close in than demand generation, from what I understand.
Okay.
Um, $4,500 offers, which is like unheard of for my niche. It's usually like 1,500 or lower.
Okay.
And I just fucking love sales calls, dude. Like the buzz that you get from them, but also being able to help people as well. Like the way that you talk about it, right? It's not about the brosy, bravado, aggressive style of things. It's
Yeah.
like coaching people to shift their beliefs and
Yeah.
empower them to make a decision to stop stagnating,
Yeah.
to improve their lives. And I really resonated with that. So for a few different reasons, I'm just at the point where I don't really want to continue with the business. I want
Okay.
something where I can master the skill, which is why I got into injury in the first place. It was biomechanics that I loved. All the business stuff was unintentional, right? Most people get into business and 20% of the thing that they want to do is what they actually end up doing.
Yeah.
80% is everything else, which is totally fine. But I want to master a skill and get really, really good at it because that's what really excites me.
Okay.
And I'm thinking more about day-to-day fulfillment, not just the future. Because I spent the last 2 years building and not really enjoying it that much. I got to 15K a month. It took a lot to get there.
Okay.
Um, and the structure of my day-to-day life, I just didn't enjoy. And like you say, right, you can get hit by a bus tomorrow, which is something I was thinking a lot about before I heard you in your videos.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't want to sacrifice now for a future that might never come. So I want daily fulfillment. It's not like hedonistic stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm just thinking a lot more about that kind of stuff.
That's cool. Well, I can tell already, man, you're super self-aware. Like you've had a lot of those realizations, which is cool.
Mm.
What's making you want to step away from the business though?
So it's a few different things. What exactly is making me step away? So one of them is juggling all the different tasks. So personality wise,
Mm.
I'm an INTJ, which I know, personality is fluid, right? You can change it.
Yeah.
But I get a lot out of going deep rather than wide.
Okay.
And day to day, I don't really enjoy jumping in and out of lots of different things because
Mm.
I get a lot of dopamine and enjoyment out of going deep on things for a prolonged period of time. So it's diving in and out of different things. The other thing is the feedback loop as well. So I really like tightly knit, closed loop feedback systems where I can put something in, get something straight out,
Yeah.
reiterate, improve on it, right?
Yeah.
If I know that it's not going well, I know exactly why, and then I can reiterate on it. With business, there were so many different things that I had to track.
Tell me
And
about
it, like, yeah,
yeah.
like totally doable. And at times it was enjoyable. Um, but long term, it just wasn't enjoyable for me. And I gave it a really good chance as well. So, I mean, I burnt out. I hate that word, but burnt out, we'll call it.
Yeah.
3 times over the last 12 months. I just finished out a launch, which wasn't that great. I did like 5 grand in the month.
Yeah.
But that was kind of the nail in the coffin. The other reason is around content as well. So biomechanics it's a very complicated topic, which means it's very difficult to simplify offers,
Mm.
and actually writing content is very difficult to do. So I found myself trying to scramble uphill all the time just because of the nature of the content. Because it's not like a fat loss offer or something like that, right? Where it's pretty simple in terms of being able to write about it,
Yeah.
and the offer's very granular as well. Like you've got X X pounds to lose in this amount of time, or something similar to that.
Yeah. Okay. So for you to like step away, do you need to
Mm.
be hitting a certain income per month to comfortably do that? Or if not, what's holding you back from stepping away from
No,
it?
I do. No, so in terms of stepping away, I promised myself that I'd do this launch as the final thing. It was like a farewell launch.
Yeah.
Um, so in terms of marketing, I'm literally burning the bridge now. So
Okay.
provided I go into high ticket sales, learn about that, it will be all in. I'll have like all day to be able to do
Nice.
that.
Okay.
Because then I can get obsessive about it, right? And then I'll enjoy
Yeah.
it more, and there'll be more momentum, etc. In
Yeah.
terms of fulfillment, I'll still need to fulfill some stuff on the client side of things, just because people came in, and there's another potential deal that I might have with. So in terms of wrapping things up, so I'm on the tangent now. Wrapping things up, I'm pretty much there already. I'll just walk away basically.
Yeah. And I know for you, like it doesn't, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't sound
Yeah.
like finances is what's really like driving you to get into high ticket sales, but obviously to an extent, otherwise, you
Yeah.
just do something for free, right? Like
Yeah.
in terms of financially, what do you want to be hitting from high ticket sales? What's your goal there?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so finances is really, really important.
Okay.
Initially, I want to set the bar relatively low, just get to 5K a month,
Okay.
then get to 10, then hit 15, because that was the max that I've gotten to with my business. And then I want to reassess and see what is required of me to go beyond 15. But it's highly likely that I want to go beyond that.
Okay.
And I suppose it all depends on the offer that I will be able to sell, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. That will affect what's included in the day
Yeah.
to day. Right?
Okay, cool. And in terms of getting there, like, I know you saw a few of my breakdown videos, right? So
Mm.
what's your reasoning for getting a mentor rather than just like your partner's already in it, right? Like, why not just try and
Mm.
get into it, learn off what she's learned and get a role that way?
I could do, and we'll probably. She's right there. She's got her headphones in. We'll probably do some like role plays and stuff like that. But for
Yeah.
me, it's two things: it's speed and it's certainty as well. So speed wise, I I'm fully aware that hiring a mentor. So I've hired a lot of. I spent over 100 grand since 2021 on mentors. So I appreciate like being able to learn at a much quicker speed. I'm going to get to where I want to be easier. And I've been told that I'm impatient. I'm not, but I like to move quickly. Right. So
Yeah.
that's number one.
Yeah.
Number two, speed. There are three reasons actually. Number two is learning from the right person as well, and being exposed to the right kind of information.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's speed as well, right? Because I would learn from you rather than having to piece it all together from different people. So
Yeah.
it's a sourcing thing. And the certainty side of things is just because you're a number of steps ahead of where I want to go. So it makes the most logical sense to hire someone who's ahead of me
Yeah.
that can help me get to where I want to be.
Again, it's cool that you've got that mindset because you'd be surprised. Like you seem a little bit older than some of the guys I work with, but
Yeah.
there are some guys where, the ego takes over. We just want to like knuckle down,
Yeah.
lone wolf. It's cool that you've realized that.
Mm.
Dude, 100K, like that's pretty solid numbers into mentors. So that's cool.
Mm.
In terms of getting into like transitioning is one thing, but then scaling to those 15K months, what
Mm.
specifically, and you might not know, right? Like you don't know what you don't know, but what do you feel like you might need help with from a mentor? Like, what do you feel like you need to learn?
Mm. What do I need to learn? I suppose it's two things. I think it's two things. So the way that I look at it, you've got the skill side of things, and then you've got the placement side of things. And when I say placement, I don't mean being guaranteed to get into a placement or something like that, right? It's more learning exactly how to actually get placed, how to go about it.
Yeah.
So I know you talk about networks and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So how to get placed, but obviously the prerequisite to that is getting shit hot at sales itself. So and there are loads and loads of different things in that, right? I'm going to have certain bottlenecks, but it's those two things, which I suppose doesn't really help because that's everything anyway, right?
No, that's pretty much my bread and butter. I mean, that's normally what guys come to me for, so that makes sense. In terms of making that transition, like how long is your part? What's your partner's name, by the way? I feel weird calling it your partner. Yeah. How long has she been in high ticket for?
So she's not actually in high ticket.
Okay.
Do you mean the course, or do you mean as a role?
Yeah, I guess the course. Yeah.
The course, not long, dude. I think she's been in there for maybe like a few weeks.
Okay, cool. How long have you known about high ticket sales for? Like just in general?
How long have I known about it? As a role, I suppose probably for the last couple of years. But obviously, I learned about it because of my business. I had to learn sales and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
From your end, like what sort of shifted recently where you're like, okay, now like it makes sense for me to look further into high ticket sales? Like what's prompting you to do it now?
yeah, so I think it's a personality match, and it's what I would imagine my days to actually look like, and not really specifically, but loosely, right? So I think it's a mix of being able to learn something with precision, being able to go really, really deep on it, being able to get really, really good at it and aim for excellence with the skill itself. And then on the day-to-day side of things, again, it's the depth instead of breadth as well. There's something else that might make sense, it might not, and I'll mention it anyway. But I've had a reflection on. So one of my biggest values is truth, right? So with marketing, for example, this was one of the biggest struggles that I had. I could write things with a lot of accuracy, but because of the accuracy that I wrote with, it meant that it was nuanced. And with social media, nuance doesn't work well, right? You need to be polarizing, you need to be one-sided, right? Which is really, really difficult. So for me, I went through a small stage of being more polarizing, but it just didn't feel good because I knew it wasn't as true as it could have been. So when I look at what I do versus sales, so in order for someone to follow me, in order for me to get reach, in order for people to sign up, I have to convince them of a truth that is extremely unpopular. It goes against conventional wisdom, right? Before they even get in the gate, for me to then demonstrate my expertise, right? Which is why a lot of the people that I worked with, it was low volume business, but they were all very high caliber people. So they were all athletes, hedge fund managers, people like that, right? But they didn't think, they thought against the herd, not with it. They got a little bit rebellious.
Yeah.
With sales, the way that I see it is that the human psychology and truth aspect, there's no friction between the two because, like, for example, I'm on a call with you now, you're asking me certain questions, but because of my knowledge base, I won't understand why you're asking them. So you're demonstrating, you're executing on the skill right now without having to convince me of how the skill works, if that makes sense. So there's no friction between human psychology and truth. And I just love the thought of that.
It's congruency, right? It sounds like it's congruent with your beliefs about truth and being honest with yourself and who you are and what you believe. Whereas if you're being polarizing just to like push a narrative, maybe there's a bit of a disconnect there. When did you realize that?
It's been a constant thing that's been coming up. So I've been in fitness for like over 10 years now, right? So the struggle between human psychology and truth has always been there. But I think perhaps over the last 6 months is really where it's actually set in terms of the business side of things, in terms of writing. In February, I hired a ghostwriter to try and take over my content. And I think that was quite eye-opening as well, because they'd written for quite a lot of fitness offers, and the stuff that they wrote was very polarizing. I saw the change in results, which I'd gotten before, right? But I think that shifted something as well.
Even February, right? I guess, like, to give you a bit of context, I'm trying to understand. So what's pushing you to actually do something about this now rather than continuing to put it off another month, 2 months, 3 months till the end of the year, right? Like what's making now time to actually like do something about it?
So I don't want to waste time, dude, because I don't want to be exactly where I am in 6 months. It's a little bit like with the launch, right? I could have thought about doing it and not done it, but I wouldn't have received the data to then move forward. So one of the things that scares me the most is getting to the end of my life, looking back and realizing that I'd wasted loads of potential. So, and I also have a tendency to tweak things as well. So I want things to be perfect, I suppose.
Yeah.
So I want to fight against that. So if I can make a decision and take certain actions within 3 months versus 12, then I want to encourage myself to do that rather than wait 12 months to do it.
And did you not have that mindset in February?
I did. Different stage though, because I was doing the launch then. So just after that, I was doing the launch. So I decided that if the launch felt any different in terms of a content perspective, I might give the business more of a chance to continue with it.
Yeah.
If it didn't, then I'd move on straight away. And the launch finished on Friday.
Right. Okay. Sorry, give me one second.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, cool. That makes sense. So let's say we get you into high ticket sales. I know initially you said the goal is 5K a month. I like to do you. Did you see I'm guessing you saw like my 15K deal breakdown?
Yeah.
So this will probably look a bit familiar to you, right? This is like a 1.0 version of who you are today. Yeah. And so this version of you, 15K a month business, biz owner, and this version of you, don't know what those red squares are. High ticket sales, doing 5 to 15K a month. Like, what do you see being different once you're at this point? Like, what does this allow you to do that I guess you can't right now, being here?
Yeah. So day to day, it will free up a lot of stress and mental bandwidth because I see myself focusing on less tasks, same amount of time or more time, but less tasks, less juggling, right? So stress from diving in and out, mental fatigue. Less time on social media potentially as well, which again, less stress.
Yeah.
And frustration.
What else?
More freedom.
In what sense?
So not having to do the things that I don't want to do, right? So, because we're traveling, I have the business. I have to execute on that to bring money in to then live. And there are certain tasks, like the content stuff, that I don't enjoy, etc. So I think freedom in terms of, I think I see taking calls and improving my skills as more freedom because of my relationship with those tasks. Time-wise, it's not freedom, right? In terms of being in front of a laptop, it's not freedom. But relationship with that.
And with the stress, like how long have you like actually felt stressed for?
18 months.
Okay.
Yeah, 18 months.
What sort of like impact has that had on you over the last year and a half?
So I've been less present. So I've spent more time on the business to generate a return on it. And then when I'm not working in the business, I'm still not present outside of the business because I'm thinking about it. It's still ticking over in my head, So not having that will enable me to be more present, with Claudia when we're not working, when I see family, etc.
Yeah. Well, what would that do for you? To get rid of that stress, just work when you work, be present when you're present. When you're off calls, you don't have to stress about the business, things ticking over. Like, what would that actually do for you?
Comes back to the day-to-day fulfillment thing, right? So I enjoy day-to-day more. I'll be happier as well.
You don't seem that unhappy.
Well, there's room for improvement, right? There's room for improvement.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And again, not saying this will happen. Like you seem pretty determined to make a change. You're a pretty self-aware guy, but at the same time, like you kind of, I know you had the launch, but you've known about high ticket for, last few years. February sort of creeped up on you a little bit more. Obviously, it's creeped up on you more now. But let's just say you do go another 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. You don't learn how to make that transition and you just keep working in the business. Like, what would that look like if that was your future?
More stressed, less present, won't be able to make the most of life where I'm at currently because it'll always be about chasing something that's further out ahead of me. Because it's a situation that I don't like, therefore I'll be thinking ahead all the time.
Yeah. So pretty much opposite of this.
Yeah, complete opposite. Totally.
You feel like it's time to make that change then?
I do, yeah, I do.
Awesome. Do you want me to walk you through like step by step how I can actually help you get here?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Cool. So there's a few different things. It's called Closers Cult. It's a 6,000 investment. Does that make sense so far?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Now I'll walk you through what that comes with, what that looks like. But off the bat, complete conversation killer. Totally scared you off already. No matter
No,
what.
let's go, man. Let's go.
Cool. So the first thing that we work on, you know how you said before you get an offer, like you got to become a killer at sales? That's exactly right. A lot of people come to me, they're like, oh, can you just place me in an offer? Can you place me in a job? It's like, dude, you got to get good at sales before I put my reputation on the line to connect you with a business owner. So the first thing we work on is the skills. So everything in terms of what questions you ask, why you ask them, what answer you want, your tone and your delivery, like how you ask certain questions, pacing, all of these things and more. That's the first thing we work on. Okay. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Do you feel like that would actually help you?
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Then from there, it's sweet. You don't have to become like A+ level before you get on a roll. You just want to be like pretty competent at these things. And then it's like, sweet, let's get you in a role because that's where you can really accelerate the learning. That's where you're implementing it every single day. So there's multiple different ways we can get you a role. I love the fact that you aren't looking for guaranteed placement because I think yes.
Yeah.
Like I don't guarantee placement because I could guarantee you a role tomorrow, but the role could be crap, or you could get on the role, you could be crap, and then you get fired a week later.
Yeah.
Waste of everyone's time. So there's multiple ways. One is I teach you how to find these roles. So whether it's networking, building your relationships, finding the right people and getting your way into a company that way, that's one way. The other way is I have tons of business owners asking me, hey, I like the way you sell. Do you have mini versions of you? So when that happens and I have someone good, I just make that introduction. I don't charge companies referral fees. I don't charge recruitment fees. My number one focus is getting closers on solid offers and connecting good people with good people. So that's the other way, is just connections and referrals. And then the third way is I actually pay a recruiter out of my own pocket. I pay him $3,000 a month to find companies and to find roles to connect you guys with. So you don't have to pay anyone. You don't have to pay anything. Well, outside of this, obviously. But in terms of recruitment, like you don't have to pay for placement or anything like that. He's just in there full time helping you guys land roles as well. So in terms of you getting a role, like that's the easy part. It's this that takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
Any questions on that?
No, nailed it, dude. That's perfect.
Cool. There's two ways that I deliver and I teach. So one is in, like, a lot of people don't like calling things courses. It's a course. Like, it is what it is. It's pre-recorded modules. You go through it step by step. It's going to give you the foundation for everything. Obviously, that's limited, but it gives you a good base level of knowledge. Then from there, it's live on coaching calls. So total, we have 9 coaching calls a week. And in the sales coaching calls, we do role plays. So you'll come in, practice selling, practice objection handling, all of that, Q&A, and then we'll even do call reviews. So if you have a specific call, you're like, Orlando, I thought I did everything right. I don't know where I lost this sale. Like, I'll pull up the recording, break it down for you step by step in the group. So yeah, that's the layout and structure. Overall, do you feel like that sort of structure that you're looking for?
Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. I haven't seen, so on the right with the placement stuff,
Yeah.
the way that you've broken that up, I haven't seen that anywhere else. So like the other places that I've looked at, so I saw Closer Cartel, which for me seemed a little bit, you know, and that's one of the guaranteed placement things, right? Outside of that, I haven't really seen it broken down like that, but I like it because it refers back to the left about skill development and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, so it looks really good. It looks good.
Cool. Any objections, or we're gonna make it easy and
Any objections?
no partner objection? I think about it.
No, I'm a little bit under the weather today. I was thinking about jumping on and giving you an objection at the end just to see how you handled it.
Yeah.
But no, dude, like perfect. I'm 100% up for this.
Awesome. Cool. I'll get you a link and then we can do onboarding now.
Yeah, sure.
Give me 1 second.
With I've paid by the way. So